Good morning, viewers. Mike here, and I'm just taking a look at this train wreck here. It's my Doall bandsaw laying on its face. And if you watched my prior video, you'll remember that Mr. Bumblebutt managed to tip this thing over. And I haven't been able to assess the total damage on it, but I know I caved in that lower door pretty well because it landed on my porta power. And it did a face plant on my grinder motor nose, and I don't know what I'm going to have to do for that. I broke off that foot pedal for the weight for the power feed, and until I get it stood up I won't know the full extent. But I think what I'm going to do is I'll get the battery in the loader tractor and I'll get that drug up to the front door and pull it out and stand it upright. Now when I stand it upright, I think I'm going to build a frame for underneath it with casters, so I'll be able to move it around inside here. But that way I'll also be able to widen the footprint out a little bit to where it won't be quite as tippy. And I have purchased some steel over here, and that's what I'll make that frame out of. I haven't purchased the casters yet. But my friend Steve sent me some photos of what his son did on his bandsaw, and did a very professional job on it, and I think I'm going to pretty much copy what he did on his. His bandsaw seemed to be a little bit lighter weight than this one, but it really looks nice, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's the situation in the shop. But today we're not going to work in the shop. We'll be working outside the shop on my little golf cart. And this is my transportation for here on the farm. And if you'll notice, these seats are pretty well rotted out, and I priced out putting new seats in it that would fit right in there, bolt right in, and they were to the tune of mid $450 worth. And it just isn't worth putting that much money in this old golf cart. This is like a late 1970-ish golf cart, and it runs good, but it's not worth putting a whole lot of money into. So what I did is I bought some boat seats here for about 60 bucks off of eBay, and we'll go ahead and unpackage those and see if my investment was worthwhile. Okay, so the seats are all in, and they're not exactly what you call luxury seats, but they'll do the job. You don't get much for $30 a piece, but yeah, they'll be alright. And I didn't video putting them in because it was just a matter of drilling 4 holes to mount each one of them and bolting them in. The only time-consuming thing was running them down to get 8/4 20 by 2-inch bolts, which are the only ones in the world that I don't have. So anyway, that's complete. On to the next thing. Now I'm doing the fit up for the riser on my little service cart, and we'll make this out of aluminum because I've got quite a bit of it, so we might as well use it up. And this should be interesting. I haven't TIG welded aluminum in probably 40-45 years, so this should be kind of interesting. And I promise I'll show you the good, bad, and the ugly. And now we'll prep all the surfaces where we're going to weld. We all know how important it is to have really good, clean surfaces for any kind of welding, but it's really, really important on aluminum. The last aluminum welding I did was on a Grumman canoe, And I had a bottle of sulfuric acid I used to use to clean aluminum with. I don't think you could even get it today. And now I'll just give it a good bath of acetal. And after about a 60-mile ride, here we are in beautiful Bettendorf, Iowa, right on the Mississippi River, just down the street from the Rock Island Arsenal. This is Donahue heat treat, and that'll harden the gears that I made for the saw. And we've been promised a nice tour, and I wish I could film in here, but I guess it's not going to happen today. We're finally breaking loose on this Doall bandsaw to where we can begin working on it again. And what you're looking at here is the gear and pinion that I made for the transmission to replace the bad ones. And they're back from heat treat, and they're 4140 steel, if you recall. And I gave Donahue Heat Treating in Bettendorf, Iowa, a spec of 42 to 46 on the Rockwell C scale. And so I expect they're somewhere in the middle, probably around 44, which should be real good for these gears. And so the next thing we need to do with these is to take this gear and heat it up and shrink it onto this shaft, and it'll be just about like that. At that point, we should have everything we need to put this transmission back together. So during the heat treat process, we've had a slight growth in size on these two gears, and I'm having a difficult time getting this thing together and running smooth. So we're going to go ahead and take it back apart, and we'll have to figure out a plan to deal with that. Hey, we just got the casters for the carriage for our Doall bandsaw. Let's take a quick look, see what we got. And here's a glimpse of these casters, and each one of these are rated for 660 pounds. So with 4 of them, let's see, that's over 2,400 pounds. That should support my machine just fine. And they have little roller casters built into them on a aluminum cast aluminum frame. I was a little skeptical of the rating on them, but now that I look at it, it's pretty beefy. It has nice beefy bearings and a heavy mounting plate here, and has this little what you call it, jacking pad here that once you get your machine located into a position, you can jack this down on the floor and take the weight off the casters and keep the machine from moving. So we have a set of 4 of those, and it was about $60 on eBay. I didn't come across these. Again, these are the casters that Steve's son used on his bandsaw undercarriage. Steve's son is an engineer, and if they're good enough for him, they're good enough for me. So there you have it. We're going to end this one right here, and we'll see you next time when we do more work on the transmission. Bye for now.